Hey everyone, how's it going? So last time what we did is we got this user logged in JS variable passed in the payload, and then in the main layout we rendered this into JavaScript code and we stored it in a variable called user logged in. So now in our client code, that is, in common.js for example, we can access it using the user logged in variable. So what we're going to do, like I said, is essentially check whether the user logged in ID exists in the likes array. So we'll do an if statement right there, and we'll say if post data dot likes dot includes, and then the value we want to look for is user logged in. This is our new friend that gives us the user logged in data, and then underscore ID, because remember the likes is going to be an array of user IDs for the users that have liked it. So if that's true, so if the array does include it, then we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to take the button and then just add the class active, alright? And then what we'll do is I'll copy that line and then we'll make an else block underneath that. And then instead of adding the class, I'm going to remove the class, so remove class. So now it will add or remove the class based on whether the user has liked it or not. So let me refresh the page. And obviously you won't see anything visually different yet, but if I go to here and find one of the buttons, so I'll right click on the button and I'll inspect it. You should see it add the active class if I click it, which we do. Active, if I press it again, it's got rid of it. Active, not active, active. So that's all we need. We can now style this based on that class being there or not. Now it's worth noting that, of course, this one already had a like, and it doesn't show the class active, and that's because in this create post HTML, we need to check whether they've liked it or not before we render this and then add the class manually here. But we'll get to that later on. Don't worry about that. Now, what do we want to do with it once it's active? What do we want to do like visually? So all I've done is change the text color to red. That's it. But then if you'll notice that if you retweet it instead, it changes the color to green. So the retweet has a green one, the like button has a red one. This is the exact same behavior that you find on Twitter. So what we're going to do is replicate that. Now, in order to show red for this one and green for that one, we do need to add one more class to each of those. So scroll down to where we create the buttons and just add the class red to the like button, and then add the class green to the retweet button. So in the button itself, I'm going to say class equals, add the class green. But I'm also going to add the class retweet as well, because here we have the class like button, and that's what we'll use to know whether this button was pressed eventually. So also add the class retweet, like that. Okay, so I've got two classes on that button now, retweet and green, and this one's got two classes, like button and red. Now all that's left to do is to write the code which will target that. So in our CSS file, main.css, I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to add some style here. We're just going to say dot post button container and then dot red, and then we're going to also style the button with the class active. So take another look at that, make sure you got this right. We're targeting the post button container, which also has the class red, which that's why there's no space between these two. And then within that, we're targeting the button, which has the class active. So just copy that down carefully, make sure you've got the spaces in the right place. There's only a space here. There's no spaces between these two classes or these two classes, okay? So in there, we'll just change the color to a red color. Now we don't have this variable yet, I don't think. Do we have red? No, we have no red variable yet. So let's scroll up to the top and just add that variable real quick. Let's say -- red colon, and it's going to be RGB, and the value is going to be 226, comma 34, comma 94. All right, that's the value of our red. Okay, you can see it's turned red there. So scroll down to the bottom again, and let's use that variable like this. So that now will turn red once we like it. Let's see. And it hasn't. So why hasn't it done that? Let me take a look at my code. I've no doubt got the selector wrong, but I'm going to right click on something and then click inspect. Oh, I've noticed that the post button container is not the same element as the one which we have red on. So to fix that, all you need to do is actually separate these two. I know I just told you to be careful. There's no space between those, but that was my mistake. There is a space. So again, take a quick look at this. Make sure you got this right. Post button container, then the element inside that with the class red, and then the button active inside that. Okay, now we'll try that. So I'll click one of these, and I've got to like it again, and we still don't see it. So I'll right click on this, I'll inspect from here if I can. Inspect, and it has the class active, and I can see that I've added the red class to the wrong element. If I scroll down in common.js, I've put it on the button, but it should be on the div instead. So move it from the button to the div. So my CSS was right the first time actually. So again, I'll do the same with the green one. I'll move the green up to there as well while we're here. But we will keep this. We needed to add the class retweet anyway, so it's good that we did it. But yeah, to summarize, we just moved the red to the post button container element and the green to the post button container element instead. And that means we are going to have to go back and put this back to how it was. Sorry about that. Post button container dot red is the same element. Okay, third time's a charm. I'm sure it's going to be right now. So I'm going to like it, and it's gone red. Same with this one. When I like it, it goes red. When we unlike it, it goes back to normal. Okay, so it only goes red once it's active.